We are heading to the championship round. Going into the championship round.
So you're fresh off that win on the weekend. Now, from your perspective, what's the reaction been like on your end from social media, fans, etc.?
Man, this has been crazy. It was everything was unexpected. I think Dana White had made what happened. He basically like ran a fuel tanker into like this little campfire, and it really just blew up bigger than that. But for me, I was saying that I was cocky and disrespectful and showboating and taunting, and I was none of those things. As far as like the taunting outside the cage, man. Look, I'm walking into the United Center filled with boos. Like everyone is booing me, and so I don't. What did people expect me to do? Just like accept the boos and not react? You know what I'm saying? So I reacted to the boos, and then people said that was disrespectful. And then during the fight, nothing that I did was taunting or showboating. It was merely people from a different perspective than what I had. They only looked at it from one way. And then if someone, because I had reporters in the post fight, they asked me what I was doing, and I told them. And then they went, because these are people who thought I was or they thought I was like taunting and showboating as well. They went back and looked at the fight, knowing what I had said and from my perspective, and they say, "Oh, okay, we get it now." But what happens is you have someone like Dana White, or even the fans in general, who they see the fight as it happened, they come up with this idea of what's going on, and then they run with it, as opposed to finding out, hey, nah, like that's not what I meant, And so Dana White, he uses his platform, and like I said, he just made the thing snowball into something much bigger than what it was.
Yeah, man, I agree. I thought in the position that Dana White's in, he can influence opinions at the end of the day. I mean, he says something.
Yeah,
Sometimes
100%.
people take him as a god, like they take his word for gospel at times. So I thought it was a bit poor on his part to come out and use some of the language he did as well. I thought it was a bit disrespectful towards you. Do you agree with that?
100%. It took away from the victory. It took away from the win. Like, this is my, a win in the UFC. Now, I understood the caliber opponent I was facing, but a win in the UFC is still a win in the UFC. And you have someone using his platform, and he ruined the experience. He really left a sour taste, especially in the moment. I'm trying to, and I'll tell me, like, man, after the fights, I'm not a partier, so, for after party, I want to go out and have some deep dish pizza. Never had it. So I'm waiting on my pizza, and then my phone is blowing up. And then now I'm trying to, I'm reading this, the pizza's coming out, and then I got a slice of pizza in my face, and I can't even eat it because now I'm, like, on Twitter. It would just, it ruined the whole moment. And then ruined my pizza as well.
Yeah, I thought if the roles were reversed and it was CM Punk who got the victory and was showboating and things like that, I think people would be playing it up as if they wouldn't talk about that in the same way.
That was the crazy thing. So let's say hypothetically that I were showboating, I still beat this dude up. I beat him up and I sent him to the hospital. You know what I'm saying? So let's talk about the people who do showboat. Let's talk about the Anderson Silvas, the Conor McGregors, the Diaz brothers. And not knocking them out. I love what they do. I'm big fans of theirs. But that's not my style at all. To showboat and to taunt, to be disrespectful, like that's not my style at all. And again, you have someone who's just quick at the trigger. You know what I'm saying? And I waited for him a little bit after. He was a busy man, didn't get the chance to talk to him. But and it had nothing to even do with the fight. Like, if I'd have known that's how he felt, I legit would have waited around even longer to make sure that I got my view across to him and that he understood what I was doing and where I was coming from, as opposed to him having this opinion and it be completely off base.
Yeah, you mentioned like Anderson Silva and the Diaz brothers, and no one seems to bat an eyelid when they like lie down in the middle of fights and things like that. So I didn't understand.
And all I did was not look at my opponent when I hit him.
Yeah.
And that's what people call it. And I was like, hold on, when did that become a thing where, or the other one, which is getting me now, is like, he's being disrespectful because look at him. He looks bored. I was like, what? Like, I look bored, so I'm being disrespectful. I was like, nah, y'all just making stuff up.
No,
Like that's all.
yeah, I just thought you would just you look collected, and maybe that's how some people fight.
But
Like,
that's just me. That's how I fight. That's what I'm saying. And so even going into the fight, I was like, a lot of people don't know who I am. Like a lot of these UFC fans, they don't know me and don't know who I am. So if these people were to have known me prior, they would have known. Like that's just I have resting bitch face when I fight, and that's just what it is. You know, I have like this emotionless face, and and it's not that I'm bored or not. You know, whatever. That's just what it is. Like just how some people they have this angry look on their faces. They're very intense. That's not me. You know what I'm saying? I'm just a laid back kind of dude. And people took that as a sign of disrespect. I'm like, yo, y'all are just making stuff up now. Y'all gotta stop.
yeah, I mean, after the fight, you know, there's those pictures of you and Punk backstage. I mean, is the respect there between you?
100%. Like I said, going into the fight, I had nothing but respect for the guy. You know, after the fight, I told him the same thing. You know, I had said this to him before because I wanted him to know that this is just business. Like there is no animosity and no beef between us. You know, and I like I said in the interviews, and then apparently people they wanted me to like give accolades or show support for him, like following the fight in Chicago. It's like I don't have to do that because I already said it to him as a man. I don't need to say this in an arena where I need this validation from other people. The only person that I need to do this for is myself and for Phil. You know what I'm saying? And I did that. I told him I respect him 100%. After the fight, you know, we came like you saw the picture backstage. And that was this one time we ran into each other backstage. You know what I'm saying? We ran while we were getting checked out by the doctors. He came back and talked to me. You know, I think maybe that was like the second. I don't remember what point that was, but we saw each other several times. I saw his coaches in the green room. We were eating and watching the fights. You know what I'm saying? So there was nothing but respect. But people just like to make up their own narratives. Is what it is. They make up their own narratives and they run. And then like people, that was the crazy thing. Is like people were asking me about it, and then I would give them an answer, and they're like, you're lying. I was like, well, then what'd you ask me for then? Like you've already had your mind made up, so there's no point in even asking me.
Yeah, it's a tough one, especially when you know a lot of the people giving those opinions are WWE loyal fans, and you know you can't change their mind when they've made their mind up on something. You know?
That's so true. That's so true.
But like the fight itself, even Joe Rogan said it seemed like a pro versus an amateur at times. Did you really find?
I told people that. That's what I'm saying. Like I told people this going into the fight, and people looked at me like I was like people was like when I would say it's a pro versus amateur, and people was like, nah, it's two amateurs or whatever they would say. And I was like, what? Like, I'm the one with the actual fight experience. You know what I'm saying? So like you're right. That's what it was. It was a pro versus amateur. And for me, giving that the type of fight it was, you know, being that it was an entertainment fight. It wasn't a fight for us to move up the rankings or anything like that. So now people are upset that I carried him 3 rounds and I didn't finish him. I'm just like, yo, like y'all gotta stop. First I sucked and he was gonna beat me now because I didn't knock him out. I suck and what was the other one they said? I should have knocked him out sooner. Or something like, and I was like, yo, like, for what? I went in with the intentions to knock him out in the first round, right? He never left his feet. And then I didn't want to, like, rush in and get caught by CM Punk. And then I'm forever known as a guy who got knocked out by CM Punk, or I lost to CM Punk, right? So I was more cautious. After he didn't go out, leave his feet, I hit him with some solid punches and solid elbows to the face. And he never left his feet. So I was like, you know what? Let's just have some fun out here. Because that's what I'm here for, to entertain and have fun. So, and then I told people before, I was like, look, I don't want to hurt the guy. I just want to beat him up just enough where he doesn't want to do this anymore. And because they were like, yo, this dude needs to go back to pro wrestling. And I was like, okay, well, I'll take care of that. And then, look, I sent him to the hospital. I'm pretty sure he's never going to fight in MMA again after that ass whooping I put on him. You know what I'm saying? And again, I didn't want to, it was one of those things where, especially because people are not in there with me, like they don't, and they're not me. You know what I'm saying? People have like everyone looks at things from their perspective, right? So you have all these people who don't fight, who've never fought, having all these opinions, right? You should have knocked him out. Well, I tried. Look, I could have, but I chose not to. Like that's not your call for how I fight my fight. It's my fight. You know what I'm saying? If I don't want to knock this guy, if I don't want to leave him, face down on the mat in front of his fans, in front of his family, and people watching at home, where they have to like pick this dude up and put him on the stool, why I don't have to do that? You know what I'm saying? I fight the fight that I want to fight, and for me, I wanted to give this man some dignity and let him walk out on his own.
Thought it was a bit strange because you think of fighters like the other week at Bellator with Michael Venom Page when he knocked his opponent.
That dude quit.
That
dude quit in the middle of the fight. Phil, man, this dude had all the heart of the Phillips United Center, and I get, and that was another thing I get, because there's so many other people who would have quit after all of that. They wouldn't have taken that beating like that, but he's toughed it out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's why I think he's got nothing. I don't think he's got anything left to prove now. Would you?
That's the thing. Is like he has nothing else to prove. He has nothing to prove. No, he didn't. Did he get a win in the sport? No, but he showed how much heart he had. Like, not everybody can win in this sport because this sport isn't for everyone. You know what I'm saying? And so people, but it's just crazy how you have people who will never compete, who never competed, and yet they're the first to run their mouths about this dude. I'm like, man, y'all can talk all the talk y'all want, but I respect this dude 100% because he's willing to make that. He's willing to make the walk. There's so many people, and I know firsthand, some people can't even make the walk before they even go out. Like, they're throwing up and, oh man, I can't do it. I know it. I've seen it. I've been there. And this dude, Willie, he made the walk. So gotta respect him 100% for that.
Yeah, I thought it was a bit. You got some podcasts this week with like Joe Rogan and Brendan Schaub and people like that. They've been kind of hammering him a bit. I thought it was a bit a bit in bad taste. But it was what it was. Everyone knew what it was. How it was going to end doing the fight.
Right. That's what I'm saying. It's like people are mad at me. Like I didn't force CM Punk to fight. I didn't sign him on the card. I didn't put this on the pay-per-view portion of the card. I just took advantage of the opportunity that I was given. And then I got people offended. I have fighters. These are just douchebags, by the way. I have some dude who's like 4-0 on a regional circuit, and then he's mad. Like, this dude legit told me, he was like, I'm offended that you got this opportunity. And I was like, what? Like, I didn't know what else to say to that but laugh. I was like, dude, now you're just being one of these just, you just looking for something to be upset about now. Like, it's not even about me now. This is something personal with you, and you have some issues that you need to deal with internally, where you're upset at other people's opinion or other people's opportunities that they've been given. Like, what do you do? Like, what, that doesn't even make any sense. You sound like some little entitled little. Never mind. He sounds like a little entitled little asshole is what he does. But like I said, outside of that, man, I can't let these little clowns and cornballs ruin this moment for me.
No, there's been quite a few of them. I read somewhere the other day, I think you posted it, that something like Daniel Bryan was trying to call you out now or something.
Oh, man.
What's up with that?
Man, I don't know. Like, I'm not even mad at that because it kept my name out there, But Daniel Bryan, apparently, he's actually, he's done the rest or like catch wrestling and grappling and things like that. He has the experience, which I look, if you had the experience, I'm cool with that. But this dude, no one's gonna clear him to fight because of his neck.
Yeah, exactly.
Because his comment was something to, I could beat him on the ground in a UFC fight. Uh-huh. I was like, well, if it's an MMA fight, you got to get me there first.
Yeah, exactly.
And trust me, I'm gonna punch you several times before. Let's say we get to the ground, I'm gonna hit you several times before we get there. And your neck and his neck can't take that. So, I mean, I know Andrew. I'm friends with Andrew Simon, who runs Access TV, and he's like, man, we should make a grappling match on Access TV. So I had some people with some interest over here, but we'll see what happens.
So what about you then? Are you looking to continue to fight? Like, I mean, Dana White said that he wouldn't put you on the Contender Series or something. I don't know how much he means by that, because I've heard him maybe turn on that word a little bit. But do you have the desire to continue to fight now? Or?
Man, for me, I just love to fight. Like, I'm always gonna have the desire to fight. It's just a matter of the opportunities I given and the right checks. As far as MMA goes, because it takes a while as far as training and dedication. Like, it's a different animal than a lot of people realize. And so for me to for me to have that type of dedication, because again, as far as like paying and stuff like that, I made way more money outside of fighting than I do in there. While I do fighting, and so for me, it has to make sense. It has to be something that's gonna get my eyes, big. And I can't fight on the local show against some random guy for like $1,000. And it's not a knock. I mean, because again, I know how the business works, and I understand what promotions can and can't afford. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, it's not a knock. It's just that's what it is. And you have these local guys. I mean, there's one guy, man. He's from like Dallas. This dude's been pulling at my coattail for 2 years. I want to fight on him, and I was like, yo, like I don't get anything out of that. Why would I fight you? Like, that doesn't do anything for me. Doesn't do anything for you except, hey, I fought Mike Jackson. You know what I'm saying? And now I got to worry about all this. I already know what you're going to come and do. You're a guy who's going to want to hug me and try to take me down now. So now I got to worry about that. I know that's what you're going to do. So that's what I'm going to be training for. And that's not for me. That's not an area of training that I particularly like. Preparing for, the takedown event. Look, I'm a striker. And it's not that I can't wrestle. You saw the wrestling, you saw the counter wrestling, you saw the counter jiu-jitsu with the fight. He got taken down, I got up. He tried to take me down, I stuffed it. It's just I prefer striking. So for me, it has to be a fight that makes sense.
What about things like boxing or kickboxing? Does that still interest you, or is it strictly MMA now?
100%. Those are my I love boxing. But right now I'm still under contract with UFC. And like I said, my post-fight, if Zuffa Boxing comes to fruition the way they're saying it is, then I'll do that. It's just we have to wait and see.
I look forward to seeing what you're doing next, and I thank you for doing this anyway.
No problem, man. Thanks for having me.